It's a weird thing going on. It seems like everything's getting more expensive in 2026, but you go to these cruise line websites and they're offering incredibly inexpensive cruises. But the secret that they don't really tell you on those websites is that's not where they're going to get you. They're going to come for your money, but it's not there. In today's episode, I want to tell you about 10 ways cruise lines are coming for your money in 2026. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I am Tony, and we're going to talk about 10 ways that cruise lines are coming for your money. Number 8 on the list is really crazy because it's one of those things where people are really good about not giving into for a couple days, but then they eventually give in, and it's expensive. So stay tuned for that. Look, if you love cruising like I love cruising, be a part of the Loca fam. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's jump in. Number 1. Drinks and drink packages. Look, here's the big alert. Cruising is not all inclusive. You pay that price you see on the website, you're not getting everything that you need. You're going to get your cabin. You're going to get some sort of included food like the buffet or the main dining room. And you're going to get some non-alcoholic beverages, maybe some water and some tea. This is definitely one of those places where the cruise lines are coming for your money because they know people like to get their drink on. Drinks on board a cruise ship. Cocktails, $12 to $18. Beer, $10 per beer. That's expensive. And then if you want to try to save some money and get a drink package, you're shelling out anywhere between $60 and $100 per person per day. Think about that. You get in on a cheap $200 or $300 sailing for 4 or 5 days, but all of a sudden you're going to spend another, $1,000 so that you can get your drink on. And like I said, drink-wise, very little is included in your base fare. So if you want a soda, it's going to be $4 or $5. If you want a specialty coffee, $8 or $9. If you want a bottle of water, $3 or $4. It's really a death by 1,000 cuts when it comes to the drink package. Look, drinks a huge profit center for the cruise line. Certainly is part of cruising, but you got to go in there with eyes wide open. Another place where cruise lines are coming for your money is the shore excursion desk. We all want to do something fun when we go to a port of call, and the cruise line makes it super easy. They have a whole staff of professionals that will help you pick out the perfect tour, and they'll sell it to you. And it's expensive, $50 all the way up to $300, $400, $500 for a shore excursion. And the thing that is a little bit challenging is if you look at the exact same tour that's not sold to you through the cruise line, a lot of times it's drastically less. That discount does not come without its own risk. If you purchase your shore excursion through the cruise line, they're going to guarantee that you're going to get back to the cruise ship, or if you're late coming back to the cruise ship will wait for you. Most of the time in the third-party scenario, that guarantee is not there. Cruise lines kind of got you between a rock and a hard place. Again, you can look and see a great discounted price on a third-party excursion, but you lose out on that guarantee that the ship won't leave you behind. I think the cruise line knows the psychology of that. That's why they're able to set the prices the way they do. And another example of them coming for your money. They're coming for your money. Another wild piece of psychology on cruise ships is the distinction between included dining and not included dining. I mean, let's face it, every cruise ship has a buffet, they have a main dining room, and most of them have some other included food, a pizza, a burger, that kind of thing that comes included with your cruise fare. And what's also true is now most every cruise line has food options that you can pay for, specialty dining. And that's a weird enticement also. Basically the cruise line saying, hey, you've got all this food that's included with your base price, but wouldn't you like some better food? Wouldn't you like a more romantic setting for dinner? Wouldn't you like something for a special occasion? Come to our specialty dining. Come try our French restaurant. Come try our steakhouse. Come try our Italian. Don't you like teppanyaki? We'll put on a show for you, but it's going to cost you a little bit of your coin. You have a pile of money there. We're coming for it. We're going to do it in the form of specialty dining. And again, specialty dining can be very expensive too. $50 all the way up to $300. You go to a chef's table or something like that, you can really drop some coin on specialty dining. I've done it. It's a wild thing because intellectually you're like, well, I've already paid for all the food I need. There's more food than I can possibly consume in the included food option. The buffet is always full of food. The main dining room, I can go and have plated food served to me by wonderful servers. I can go get pizza, ice cream, hot dogs. But how about this? let me spend $100 to have something from the French restaurant. We do it because in our minds we go, well, we're on vacation. We're supposed to spend money. The cruise lines know that that's the mindset, and they try to come get that money through our bellies. Another way that cruise lines are coming after our money is in the casino. Not every cruise ship has a casino, but the ones that do make it very enticing for you to drop some coin. Casinos on cruise ships are just like casinos on land. Bells, whistles, bright lights, excitement, people cheering. And a lot of times on cruise ships, they're in public places. You have to walk by a casino to get to some other place, and that's where the enticement begins. And this is one thing I don't think we talk about enough. Cruising is essentially a cashless system. On the check-in process, they're going to say, hey, give us a form of payment, your credit card, and I hope you got a big limit. We're going to give you a card that's going to open your door, your cabin door, or we're going to give you something that you can wear, and this is going to represent your ability to spend money on the cruise ship. And honestly, this isn't the way we normally spend money. So you already have this suspension of belief when it comes to charging things onto your ship card. And then, back in the casino, this magic door opening device, now I can tap it onto a colorful, loud slot machine and play for several $100s. And it doesn't really matter until the cows come home at the end when you got to look at the bill and go, oh, I have to pay this with either cash or a credit card. Casino is a huge profit center for the cruise ship, and that's certainly a place where they know that they can come and get your money. Number 5 on my list are photos and photo packages. We live in a world where you can take 1,000 digital photographs on your phone and it doesn't cost you anything. But somehow when we get on a cruise ship, some professional will take a picture of us with a fancy camera. They'll print it out like on an inkjet printer is what it seems like. That seems like the quality. And we'll give them $20 for one picture. Or worse than that, we'll give them $40 or $50, depending on the cruise line. Some of these prints are expensive. And again, I think it's because we get into that vacation brain. We get into that money doesn't really have value when I'm just swiping a card. And it's wild to me how much money we will spend on photographs. Some of these cruise lines even have photograph packages, $300 to $500 to get a certain amount of prints and to get your digital pictures. And I do appreciate the fact that you can get a really nice picture made by a professional photographer on a cruise ship, but is it really going to be substantially better than what you can take or what some stranger can take of you in front of the same stairwell? And look, I'm guilty of it. I've bought cruise pictures before. I couldn't tell you where they are. I spent that money and I have no idea where those printed cruise pictures are, but I can access almost every digital picture I've ever taken over the last 15 years. Again, it's a psychology play. Cruise lines know that we're nostalgic for the memories we just created. It's the wild thing about instant photography that, we can be nostalgic about something that happened 12 hours ago, but we are. That's the way our brain is wired. Look at the memory we did. Remember when we dressed up yesterday? Cruise lines, they'll come get that photo money. Now let's talk about the spa and thermal suites. Certainly another place on cruise ships that feels like vacation. Most of us aren't going to a spa or a thermal retreat, thermal suite on a daily or weekly or even monthly basis. So now we're on vacation and there's this wonderful place where we can go get a massage, where we can go enjoy a day at the thermal suites. At the base level, that's reasonable. I think that this is a good use of money if you can find a reasonably priced treatment or massage. But where it gets a little crazy in the spa is with the upsell and with the other treatments. Recently, I was on a cruise and during the day I would hang out in a lounge. And this lounge was also used to do spa enrichment lectures. So I heard lectures about gut health. I heard lectures about acupuncture. I heard lectures about good posture. I heard lectures about skin restoration. And every one of these lectures, I'm going to put them in air quotes, every one of these lectures included components that were moving people toward buying treatments in the spa that aligned with that lecture. And so this is a place where, if you go to this enrichment lecture, they're going to tweak your brain a little bit where at the end of that lecture, you're going to be like, yeah, I do think I need something for my gut health, or maybe I probably do need some acu. Oh, you got something that you can sell me right away? What do you just need my ship card? I saw so many people separated from their money at the end of these lectures. It was crazy. But the other thing that they do in the spa, especially after a massage or a facial or something like that, they hit you with the upsell. Same cruise, and it was my wife, the lovely Jenny B's birthday. I purchased for her a facial, and I told her, We had the conversation before she left the cabin. I said, you know, they're going to upsell you at the end of the facial for products. And she said, yeah. And I knew this because I did one of those facials one time and I bought $200 worth of facial cleaning products that I've never used. I look at it on almost a daily basis. I spent $200 on something I never used because I was in such a euphoric mood after they, did the treatment that I was like, what are you selling me? Yeah, that sounds good. Here's my card. Is this real money? Thank you. So she goes and she gets done with her facial. She calls me on the phone, which I'm like, why wouldn't you just tell me this when you got back to the cabin? But she called me almost immediately. She goes, hey, I got upsold. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's your birthday. Who cares? She got back to the cabin. I'm like, all right, so how much did they get you for? I was thinking like me, they got $200, $700. $700 on the old swipey swipe card. And I didn't care. It was her birthday. I'm happy to spend $700 if that's what she wants, but she didn't want that. Shortly after her treatment, she called and said, hey, look, I really don't want that $700 extra stuff. I don't know what I was thinking. And they're like, well, the person that sold it to you is not here. You got to wait and call the person that sold it to you. And well, that didn't happen until the next day. She called the lady that did the treatment and said, hey, look, I don't want the stuff. And the lady said, well, can you come down here and talk about it? And Jenny B was like firm. She's like, no, I don't want the stuff. So they took it off. Just goes to show you how quickly you can make some crazy decisions when you're kind of in that relaxed vacation mode. And the spa, gotta be careful. Gotta watch out for the upsell and the weird treatment. That's what I think. Number 7 on my list is shopping. Now, if you want to see psychology at play, watch how shopping works. Imagine this. Imagine you go on 2 cruises in a row. It's a 7-day cruise, and then there's the exact same 7-day cruise the next week. And you're one of those people that can do a back-to-back. So you're on the same cruise ship for 14 days. The interesting thing that you would see when it comes to shopping is a cycle of discounts. So on the very first day of the cruise, everything's regular price. And then as the cruise goes along, if you look in the little directory of things that are going on, you might see a sale on certain jewelry, or you might see a sale on the handbags. And then when you get to the final day of your cruise, there's all kinds of sales. Everything must go. 3 t-shirts for $10, blah, blah, blah. And then you get off the cruise ship, and then the next people get on the cruise ship, and then all that stuff that had to go, that was on sale, that needed to be sold, is back to regular price. So it's an interesting thing that really does expose where the cruise line's coming for your money. They're changing the pricing throughout the week to play with your psychology. This is going to be your last opportunity to buy this. You got to get this before you can go home. There's a discount today. This is the last day for the discount. But then all of those same products are back to regular price the very next day. And then the other way they come for your money is simple things like, did you forget your suntan lotion? You know, the suntan lotion that may cost $4 or $5 at the local Target or Walmart. Now that same suntan lotion costs $25. That should tell you something also. The fact that you're getting hit with a convenience fee or a penalty fee for forgetting something common on land that they have on the cruise ship, they know they've got you cornered. And if you forget your suntan lotion, you're going to have to pay up. And I think it goes without saying, when it comes to buying jewelry and watches and all those things on cruise ships are often a lot more expensive than the same item if you were to buy them, on land at your local mall or at your local jeweler. So be careful when you're shopping on the cruise ship. All right, here we are. And this is the one where most people say, I'm not going to spend money on this. But then after a couple of days of the cruise, a lot of people cave in. And if I was looking at this list of the ones that I've spent the most money on, I would say casinos up there. But this might be the thing I've spent the most money on since I've been cruising. And we're talking about the cruise ship Wi-Fi package. Confession time. I've been on 82 cruises and I only made 1 cruise without having the internet package. That was my very first cruise. We cruised for 4 days with no internet, and I didn't like it. So every cruise after that, I purchased the internet package because I like to stay connected. Now, certainly I use the internet for my job, but overall, you could probably say I'm addicted to that connectivity. I'm addicted to the internet. That addiction is expensive. Most cruise lines, to even get on the internet, it's going to be somewhere between $15 per day. And then if you want good internet, what they consider good internet, maybe up to $30, $35 per day per device. And I think even for hardcore people that say they don't want the internet, life does seem to creep back in. What's going on at work? What's going on at my house? Is the person watching my dog, are they doing okay? A lot of people say, look, I'm going to unplug on this cruise, but a lot of people cave in after a couple days. Where are you at on the internet? Do you get the internet on every cruise? Or are you able to stay completely unplugged? Leave a comment below. Now, number 9 is one I was reminded of recently watching a video on TikTok. Like I said, I'm addicted to the internet. And it was a woman describing a scenario of where her and her husband were inebriated, drinks flowing on the cruise ship. And they went to the art auction because the champagne was free, and they ended up buying $10,000 of cruise ship art. The video is so funny because she's going around her house going, this is what I bought. This is what I bought. And she didn't seem too excited about the purchases. Man, art is a big thing on cruise ships. We all like to feel, I guess, a little sophisticated. We love to look at a good piece of art. Maybe we like to own a piece of art. But everything I've ever heard from anybody is don't buy art on a cruise ship because it's overpriced and it's not great art. That's just what I've heard. Maybe some of you guys are collectors out there and you can say, no, the art's great on a cruise ship. If so, let me know in the comments. But I've never really talked to anybody that came away with an art experience on a cruise ship and said, yeah, I'm glad I spent that money. Think about that. You just go, you're having some drinky drinks and you're raising your hand, and you spend $10,000. Certainly every one of these things could be tied back to some sort of psychological component, right? I'm on vacation. I'm having a good time. Look at me. I'm at an auction. Again, you're just writing your name down and it doesn't really become real until you get that bill at the end that's going to hit your credit card. And now you're on the hook for 10 G's. I would be saying 10 G's? G's. Now, number 10 is a doubly sneaky one because it involves them kids. Well, it doesn't have to involve them kids, but I'm talking about the arcade. Most cruise ships have an arcade on board where, again, in this cashless system, you can just tap your, ship card to the front of a video game, and all of a sudden you can play a video game. You can drive in Mario Kart. You can play Miss Pac-Man. You can play air hockey. And look, I'm a parent of 6 kids. More than once years ago, I've handed buckets of quarters to my kids to go play video games. The challenge on the cruise ship, if you don't set some sort of spending limit on your kids' sail and sign card, they can just keep tapping that. I've heard horror stories of parents talking about how the arcade bill got to $500, $600, $700, $2 or $3 at a time. And look, those games go quick. Oftentimes, that's the quickest way that money disappears on the cruise ship. That would be an interesting study. Does money disappear quicker in the casino or in the arcade? Look, it's 2026. Things are expensive. That low cruise fare is what gets you on the cruise ships. But these 10 things that I talked about is definitely where the cruise lines make their money. I'm not saying we're victims in all of this. We're all making our own decisions, but I'll frame the question like that. Which one of these 10 have you been most victimized by? Thanks for checking out today's episode. Subscribe for more. This is Tony for La Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.